Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and today we're doing another indie horror spotlight. Today, I have with us, listen, I got a whole gang with us. I have the crew from a new indie horror movie that is in post production right now, and it's called Hidden Lines. First off, I'm going to introduce the director and producer. I have Abraham Lopez. Abraham, welcome to the Horror Room.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
It's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure. And I'm going to shoot over to the top. I have with us, he is the co producer. I have Rob Shillis.
Yep.
Rob, welcome to the Horror Realm.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. And then finally, she's one of the actors in Hidden Lines. I have with us Natalie Moore. Natalie, welcome to the Horror Realm.
Hi, thank you.
It's a pleasure. All right, so real quick, I'm going to shoot over to Abraham first. Abraham, tell us a little bit about Hidden Lines.
Yeah. So right now, Hidden Lives is in post-production right now, and it's basically about a girl who had a lot of trauma growing up. Like as far as like separation anxieties and also a little obsessiveness due to the fact the trauma that she went through when she was a child, and it progresses as she gets older, and it follows her story and another young woman played by Natalie Moore, who's a singer who is trying to live on her own and be on her own, and she runs into this character. Her name is Samantha in the movie, who has the trauma, and Samantha becomes very obsessive over Natalie Moore's character, and she becomes very, very, very obsessive over her because she wants to basically have her there with her all the time. And she doesn't like her having other friends or other people around, so she becomes very controlling, and you start seeing throughout the movie the stages of her controlling this, and how Natalie's character wants to be away from that and tries to stay away from that, but she's not letting her, and it turns into something pretty violent afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what gave you the inspiration for this film?
So what gave the inspiration for the film was I have heard multiple people tell me stories about either roommates or neighbors that are very getting in people's business or trying to have them around and hang out too much unexpectedly, or they feel uncomfortable because they're listening in. So what I hear a lot of those horror stories with that about neighbors or roommates who treating other roommates or a little weird by being obsessive or controlling and stuff with them, even though they're not really close and all. So I was like, let me turn this into a film and show people out there this stuff is really existing, and there's really things that happen like this. And yeah, in the movie there is a lot of that, but there's also a twist to it with also police corruption as well that I added to it that was in relation with it. So yeah.
I'm going to shoot over to Rob real quick. Rob, you're the co-producer on this.
Yep.
What got you attached to this project? What drew your interest?
Well, probably what drew my interest the most is Abraham's writing. So Abraham is also one of the writer of Hidden Lives, and I've known and been a part of Greek God Entertainment for about 3 years now. And Abraham has been one of the best writers and directors I've met. And it's just an awesome script that I thought, hey, this is something that is going to be big and can turn to a franchise and things like that. And I know that Abraham made a proof of concept for it first a couple of years back that won a lot of awards. And I watched that and I was like, this is really cool. And Natalie was in that too and did an awesome job. And I was like, hey, let's get on board and get involved with it.
Love it. Now, co-producer, by the way, is, for people who don't know, it's an extremely important job because co-producers, they have to, handle a lot of the marketing, handle a lot of the PR stuff. What are some things, as I have a lot of individuals who are new to the film industry, what are some things that you have done as a producer to help elevate this project?
I think definitely just meeting new people that you think can add value to your project. I think it can be hard to find people that can get a director's vision or get a writer's vision and a team's vision to get a production made the way you want it to be made, if that makes sense. So finding people that you can relate with but that work well with everyone is probably the hardest thing, but also the most rewarding thing to get the right team.
All right, now I'm going to shoot to Natalie, you're an actor in this movie, and
Yes.
so when you first read the script to the proof of concept, what made you like get excited about and want to be a part and be an actor in this movie?
In the proof of concept, I was really drawn to the fact that Hannah is a singer songwriter because I love singing and writing songs as well. So I really related to the character. And it's a very, very intense script, and I love intense roles. So I thought it'd be really fun to play. And yeah, I was really grateful that I got to play Hannah in the POC and then now in the feature film as well. It's really cool.
So, I mean, it must be exciting too. I mean, to go with a proof of concept or a short film, and to be able to expand that into a full length feature. Because I mean, that's something a lot of indie filmmakers, that's what they want to do, and to get that attention where people want to see more.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, for
definitely.
sure. It was
100%.
a crazy experience.
Yeah.
Now, this is a question for everyone. Now, right now, when it comes to indie horror, it's easy. I mean, we have a lot of indie horror creators right now, which is a good thing, and it's a lot easier to get films made and even get them out there. Now, what's one thing about your project and also a Greek God Entertainment that stands out from the rest?
I think for the project, what stands out with comes to the others is that that we have a unique twist to it. When I write my scripts or I tell my stories, we have unique twists to it that are actually very real. Like when I write my scripts, I try to make everything relatable to a lot of people that that could actually be like, yo, this is like what I'm going through, my situations, and I make it as relatable as can be, as real as can be, without adding too much of like I've seen in horror movies where they add like something like, oh, that wouldn't make any sense. In reality, the police would arrest you or this would happen, stuff like that. So I try to go ahead and incorporate reality to it, how it would really be. And like exactly like in Hidden Lives, I incorporated police corruption, how there's a lot of that going on, and how that relates into the story. It actually goes into it where things are happening like, oh well, this girl would have definitely gotten in trouble, but when you have police corruption, things going on, it's a whole different story. So I try to keep everything with my productions as real and relatable with real situations or real events that has happened and incorporate it into the stories.
Now, I'm going to shoot over to acting as well. As someone who's a huge horror fan, I like the big budget stuff. I grew up on the indie stuff, in the 80s. And so I'm a huge indie fan. My palette has matured over time, and I do like movies where the acting is subpar, but now when it even comes to indie, acting is so important and character development is so important. Natalie, when it comes to acting in a indie horror movie, do you think that most actors or actors don't take it seriously because it is indie horror?
I think there's some people that do and some people that don't. I think it seems like there is kind of a bit of a, what do you call it, like a stereotype almost, that acting in horror, you don't have to take it as seriously, but I think you really do, because it's a real character, real stories a lot of the time. And even if it's not a real story, you have to treat it like it's a real story in order to make it realistic and then get the scare factor for the audience. That's my take on it.
Like you were saying, both you and Abraham were saying, like, for the audience, when it comes to horror, you have to care something up. You have to care or relate to the characters.
Yeah.
If you don't care about their demise as their survivor, so forth. And like, it is what a great horror movie. It makes you become invested in the characters and care about their fates.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, Rob, I'm pretty sure you've always been a horror fan.
Yes, I've always been a horror fan. I've also I loved horror. I'm actually Australian, so I grew up watching a lot of indie horror in Australia. and it's made very differently to the US. But speaking on that point of view, yeah, definitely having that truthfulness. Just as an actor and performer is so important, especially in horror and comedy and anything like that, because so many people just try and do things and push. But if you have that truthfulness, it makes the production memorable. So I've loved horror movies that you can relate, as we all talk about, relating to a script or relating to a production. Just leave something for you to think what could happen next. And if you can leave a theater doing that, then awesome. So yeah, that's what I love about good horror.
I fucking agree. I fucking 100% agree. Now, right now, we're in a weird time frame in this country where, being politically correct, and it has even affected horror as well, especially indie horror, where when horror has always meant to be offensive because it's a offensive topic, it's an offensive genre. But I've seen more and more horror filmmakers decide to tell back and be safe when it comes to the horror movie. Is that something that your team has thought about, or do you feel like, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to go ahead and tamper with our creative ideas?
Yeah, I personally don't like tampering with art and creative ideas. I don't like going along with like having political with political climate control movies or art, because in reality what you want to do when when a movie is being created or a story being told, you want it to take people out of their world and bring them to a different world. We already hear a lot what's happening on the news. We already hear a lot what's happening around the world in general. So for that moment in time, like the cinema was about to go into the theater, go watch a movie, take you out of this world and take you to a different world where anything is possible, where your imagination could go, or you just tell you a story that is not politically connected to things, that is just like a really interesting story that you're like, oh wow, it could be like real life events and stories that doesn't have to have politics involved or all these other things that are around involved in there. That's what entertainment is really about. That's what I miss those days where we're able to go ahead and watch a movie that's actually just entertaining. Nowadays it's like you go to the movie theater, you go watch a movie, and there always has to be, we have to have like either politics involved and all that. And it's like, okay, that just ruins the whole story.
Exactly.
Yeah, we want to hear a really good story. We want to be entertained. We want to watch something great, and that's what I do in a Great Gun Entertainment. I like to tell real stories, real things, but that are not connected with politics and other things. I don't believe in getting all that involved. I believe just telling a great story, a real story, or that people can enjoy, can entertain, and learn from, or just be like, wow, this is a movie I could watch over and over again, that inspires, and not just we're making a movie because it's going to be about politics and we're going to make money off of this and so on and so forth because it's all related to this. It's like, no, that's not creativity. Storytelling needs to be the way it was back then and before. How it was to tell a really great story and people get to enjoy it and love it.
Right. And and as you're saying, Abe, just to escape their life, and that's definitely one thing that you do really well with all your scripts. Is every festival that we go to with a Greek God Entertainment, everyone who watches them, watches the productions, they are so invested that when it's over, like, wait, this is awesome. Like, are you making a feature from this, or what are you doing? What's going next? And that's always an awesome thing, because if you pull back, people can tell, people lose interest and things like that. So it's good to make that art. Completely agree.
Yeah.
But isn't it hard to be creative? I mean, it feels like you get penalized in the movie industry for being original or creative.
Yeah.
Horror. It seems like studios and even like casual horror fans, who are they're the 70% of people who watch horror are the casuals. They want to see the same old, the proven thing, slasher, somebody wearing a mask. Is it hard to be creative and original?
To me, like during that climate, yeah, because I know that people want to see the same thing. They want to see like a villain, exactly like how you say, and all that. So I find ways to be creative, even though people want to see that, by adding still my own like twist to it or stories into it, but still catering to what the audience is going to want at the same time. Which is, we want to see that slasher. We want to, like, I know that they want like the sexy vixen type of person that's like the killer too at the same time. That's what we did with Hidden Lies. We did that too, like that, where it caters to people that are like, oh wow, she's a pretty girl, but also she's a killer, kind of like Harley Quinn type of thing like that. So I try to go ahead and still cater to what the audience wants to see, to what they're used to, but also have that storytelling and that creativity to it, where they still could enjoy something and be like, oh wow, this is like, I could still get a little piece of what I want and also this together, and it's like a really good combination, and they get to enjoy at the same time. So I do find it sometimes it can be difficult, depending on genres, or even for horror, like it's hard, sometimes. But you're gonna have to still, we try to add and still have those uniqueness to it, with the realness to it, but still, having the audience happy at the same time to see what they want to see.
I love that. I love that. And Natalie, when it comes to you probably acted in several different genres. As an actor, do you have to get yourself in a different kind of mindset to act in a horror film?
A little bit. For this one, I was the kill E, so I didn't have to kill anybody. So I kind of had to get myself more in the submissive kind of mindset, and I felt like I had to basically put away any sense of dominancy that I had in my personality, because Hannah's really basically a pushover, kind of a really people pleaser, and I think that was a really important trait to the character that me and Abraham had talked about. So that's how I got myself in that mindset.
I mean, but do you think about, like, when you're in that mindset, do you think about like a fearful moment in your life? Do you think about something that made you unease?
I kind of just do it in the moment, and I treat the scene as if it's real life. Because if I was getting murdered in real life, I'd be terrified. So I treat it as if it's real, and then it just comes naturally when you treat it like it's a real situation, I think.
All right, so I'm gonna do a round table question. I'm gonna start off with Natalie first. Natalie, what is one positive thing that you can say about working with Abraham that you're like, wow, he does this so fucking great? This is something I wish I had.
There's a lot of things. One of the really positive things about Abraham is he has all of his characters down to a T, where you can ask him pretty much anything about a character and he'll have the answer right off the top of his head, which makes it really beneficial for getting into the character and understanding the character. I've worked with some directors that aren't so much like that, so that's a really great quality, I think.
Abraham, well, how about you when it comes to working with Rob?
Rob, it's pretty good. We work together because also in my production company we have a management department. Rob is under a Great God Management, so I've worked with him. He's shown interest in producing, so I've been showing him how it works and showing him the ropes of producing. And Rob has been doing a great job, learning and how to, he gets the visions of what I want, and he tries to go ahead and work together with what I envision and how we want to get things done. Rob also acts as well. He's a phenomenal actor. He's one of my top actors in management. He's won several awards for best acting, and so he gets the characters that I create. He brings it to life as well. So me and him work very well together and very easily when it comes down to projects, and he understands that, as far as like he's still learning, of course, with producing and getting the hang of it, but he's catching on pretty quick, and he's able to execute those as efficient as possible.
Rob?
Mm-hmm.
Natalie.
Something I love about Natalie, love a lot of things about Natalie as a person, but also as an actor. Something she does great is she's always prepared and always willing to deviate if needed. A lot of actors don't want to explore a character, and what I mean by that is a lot of actors kind of just read off a page. You can tell when you see a performance like that, but Natalie always wants to see what can happen next and where she can go with characters, and she always wants to get Abraham's vision or the best vision of the director made, but also feel like she can relate. And that's something I've seen with Natalie, and she's won a load of awards for that as well. But Natalie also does a lot of crew work as well, and that's awesome because a lot of actors don't do that. But it's so important to be able to work on crew, and she's got so many strings in her bow. and it's awesome to see that, because having someone on set that can be a lead actor and basically help a movie get that vision you want, but also who can be like, I know where this camera is going to be pointed, I know how this is going to sound. That is so much more beneficial and time efficient and helps everything. So that's something I love about Natalie.
Thank you.
I love this team. It seems like you guys are a great team together, and I'm looking forward to seeing Hidden Limes. Now, Abraham, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Abe Lopez 333, and you can find us also on our website too. We have a company website, which is www.agreedgodproductions.com, and we have also our company Instagram too, Agreed God Prod. And you can find me mainly on social media, which should be Instagram is the one that I'm really active on as well, and of course our website that we update. So that's where you could find a lot of updates on stuff like on projects that we're working on. Like right now, we just completed a 48-hour film challenge. We just literally today we were editing it, and Natalie and I were working on it, editing of it and put it together, and it was a fun challenge. It was a great challenge. So we've done multiple projects, and it was cool.
Natalie, where can everyone find you?
I'm mostly active on Instagram also, and my username is It's Nat Moore, Moore. And pretty much any social media platform under that same username.
Awesome. Rob, last but not least.
Awesome. So mine Instagram, there's a trend there, which is rob.shields, SHIELLS. Also, I've got our website, which is robshields.com. And also check out the Greek God Entertainment IMDb, because we've got a lot more productions coming up over the next year. We're working probably, Abe, 5 to 6 productions the next couple of years we've got coming up?
We got a lot of productions coming up, a lot of films. We got another horror film that we're working on too, people that we've collaborated as well. So we got a lot of projects in development right now. I'm working on another horror movie as well called Rush Week, which is Rob is acting in. I'm an executive producer for that. So we do got a lot of projects in the works that are coming up. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Love it. Listen, everybody, go down in the description box, and the Greek Gods Entertainment website is down there. Click on it. Follow my IMDb, Facebook, Instagram, all forms of social media. Listen, gang, I cannot wait to see Hidden Limes. As soon as it comes out, if you can send me a screener, I will love to watch it and have the team come back on and we can actually talk about it.
Awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
By the way, you can come on and promote anything, by the way. So I love it.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, everyone, thank you for coming to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and that is the team from Hidden Limes. We'll see you next time. Take care.